Hi, this is Mrs. Fiedler. Today we're going to learn how to use our online book catalog, Destiny Quest, to find the books we want in the Media Center. Let's get started. One of the questions I get asked a lot is when students come to a computer expecting to see Destiny Quest and they see another website instead, like maybe our school website. In order to get to Destiny Quest, all you have to do is close the window. And you can do this either by clicking this X here, or I like to hit the minus sign. And then you can see your desktop. When you're at the desktop, just look for the icon that has the stack of books that says Davis Drive Elementary School Library and double click on that. Now you should see this screen. Just click on the catalog tab up on the top. And you can search from here. This is Destiny, or if you prefer Destiny Quest, just click on the left-hand side here where it says Destiny Quest. Now that should look familiar. Now let's search for our first book. I want to look for Diary of a Wimpy Kid, but maybe I'm not sure exactly how to spell diary. So I'm going to just start with the letters that I know. I know it starts with D, and I think it's an I. And if you notice, Destiny Quest has popped up right here with some suggestions. And this first suggestion is the one I want. So I'm going to click on that. And there we go. We've got 10 books that they're suggesting. Now, this is interesting. If you notice here on the results, it says there are actually 22 titles or choices, but I only see 10. So if you notice right here, if you click the next button, you'll get to see the other choices. And you can click previous to go back. So I really like this book here, The Last Straw. So what I'm going to do is write down the call number or the address of that book. And you can see it right here. It's in bold, and I'm even going to highlight it. It's FKIN. Now, let's pause for a minute and talk about something called a call slip. You might have noticed by all of our search stations, we always have note cards and pencils to write down the address of the book. Those little note cards or slips of paper are called call slips because we were writing down the call number of the book. On the worksheet that you were handed today, you'll notice that there are 9 rectangles on the sheet. Each of these rectangles represents a call slip, and we're going to practice writing out the call slips. So for this first rectangle, I want you to write the address for that Diary of a Wimpy Kid book that we saw earlier in Destiny Quest. If you remember, the call number was FKIN, and I want you to write that on your call slip, FKIN. And this is what it should look like. Okay, we know that's the address of the book, but what does that really mean, FKIN? Well, the first part of it, F, stands for the area of the Media Center where the book is located. F stands for fiction. Then once you get to the fiction section, you are going to look for the letter K because all of the books in the fiction section are organized in alphabetical order by the author's last name. And the author here is Jeff Kinney. Make sense? Okay, let's search for another book. This is one of my favorites. It's called Shark vs. Train. It's hilarious. And you'll see that the address, the call number of that book is down at the bottom, and it's highlighted in bold. So the address for this book is EBAR. So write that on your sheet. And let's think about that. What does that mean, EBAR? Well, like I told you before, the first line is always going to be the area of the media center. So E in this case stands for the Everybody section where our picture books are. And then once you go to the Everybody section, you're going to look for the letter B. because the books there are also organized in alphabetical order by the author's last name, just like in fiction. Okay, on to our next book. I want to read a Cinderella book, but not just any Cinderella book. I'm looking for the Egyptian Cinderella. And if you notice, all I had to do was type in E and up it popped. There's Egyptian Cinderella. And there she is. The call number for the Egyptian Cinderella is down here at the bottom, like the others, in bold. This is slightly different, though. Instead of starting with an F or an E, this call number begins with a number. This number is 398.2, and it's followed by 3 letters, CLI. So go ahead, take a minute, and write that down on your call slip. Let's break down that number. 398.2, numbers equal nonfiction. All of the books in the nonfiction section are organized in numerical order versus alphabetical order. And really, the only time you care about the letters after the number is if there's a section that has many books with the exact same number. That's the case here because 398.2, as many of you know, stands for fairy tales, and we have many, many hundreds of fairy tales in that section. So make sure you always write down the first 3 letters of the author's last name on your call slip too, because you never know when you might need that. All right, moving right along. The next book I want to search for is Helen Keller. She is one of my personal heroes, and I love these bobblehead looking Who Was books. The address here is right down here in bold, B. Keller. So write that down on your call slip, B. Keller. Let's break this one down. B, remember, the first line is always the section of the Media Center. B stands for biography. And once we go to the biography section, we're going to search for the letter K for Keller. The books in this section are organized by the subject's last name, not the author's last name. You'll notice this book was written by a Mr. Thompson. So it's not under his last name, it's under the subject's last name, Helen Keller. And the reason we do this is so that all of the books on the same person are in the same area. So if you're interested in reading all of the books about Michael Jordan, for example, all of the Michael Jordan biographies will be in the exact same area. All right, moving right along. The next book I want to search for is Henry and Mudge. I love all the books in that series. I especially like this one, Henry and Mudge and the Tall Tree House. The call number or address for that book is CBRYL. So write that down on your call slip. And let's break that one down. CB is the section of the Media Center that we're going to, and that stands for chapter books. This is that section we have in the Media Center of the beginning or skinny novels. It's books like Henry and Mudge, Junie B. Jones, Magic Tree House. Those are all in the chapter book section. So once we're in the chapter book section, we're going to look for the letter R, because the books in this section are all organized by the author's last names. In this case, it's Cynthia Rylant. All right, last but not least, we are going to search for Lord of the Fleas, that classic of children's literature. The address for this book is right down here, GNFPIL. Remember, the first line always stands for the area or the section of the Media Center where the book is kept. In this case, it's GN stands for graphic novels. All of our graphic novels are near the Minecraft poster. You'll notice that this call number has 3 lines to it, GN and then F and then PIL. GN, as I said, stands for graphic novels. F stands for, of course, fiction. And PIL is the author's last name. The reason that graphic novels have 3 lines is that we have all kinds of graphic novels. We have fiction graphic novels. We have nonfiction graphic novels, biography graphic novels. We have lots of different kinds of books within the graphic novels section. So make sure you check those all out. They're very interesting. One note before I go, if you were to write this down, I wouldn't bother to look for this book because if you notice right here, it says it's out. A lot of times people forget to notice that and they'll waste time trying to find a book on a shelf when it's not there anyway. Well, I hope this helps you to learn how to write call slips. What I'd like you to do on your worksheet, those last 3 rectangles are blank. So now take a few minutes, research the books that you're really interested in and the subjects that you're interested in. Write down 3 different call numbers and then go find those books on the shelf. If you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks and happy book hunting.